Berserk, Chapter 17. Believe this is the end of the Golden Age arc, and it's called Swordwind. There's only one actual chapter of Swordwind. And in this chapter, we actually get a 3-year time skip. And at first, when I was reading this, I was like, why do they seem a little older? But we get a confirmation that there's been 3 years since the last chapter when Caska and Guts, well, when Caska starts to reprimand Guts, because we see a battle with this group. I guess it's the Kruta Kingdom. And their spear army is called the Black Sheep Heavy Spear Knights. And I'm like, yo, that is a fucking mouthful. Why would you name your troop that name? But whatever. So they're fighting, and apparently they're being pushed back. And they're at war with the Kingdom of Midland. And now we're starting to see this kingdom, who the Hawks are fighting for. And as these Spear Knights are going forth to attack the Midland Knights, they see one lone soldier on the battlefield. And it's my man Guts. Dude, fucking muscled up, beastly looking now. No longer a 15-year-old kid. He's 18 years old. He got those muscles, and he's ready to take on these motherfucking Spear Knights. Cuts a dude's head off. Cuts a dude's dude's head off. Then the Hawk comes in, and they're all like, "Oh my God, it's the band of the Hawk." We got Griffith cutting dudes' heads off. We got other band of the Hawk members eviscerating people with axes and whatnot. And they force those guys to retreat. Bye-bye, Kruta Knights. You're fucking garbage. You got annihilated. Then we get to a scene where Guts is being praised by his squad because he is a commander now. Not a squad leader anymore. He is a commander. And we find out that Caska is a lieutenant now. And she wants to speak to Guts, and they're like, apparently they've been fighting ever since 3 years ago. And all the other, soldiers of the band are like, they're probably going to go argue like cats and dogs. And Casca's like, you were supposed to accompany me and aid my squad in the attack, not go off on your own. You don't think about your friends. You don't think about the orders. The only thing that satisfies you is crossing swords with with the enemy. And they're getting into an argument, and he's like, I'll think about it. And she's like, those are empty words. You always say that. You'll just do this once again. You don't care about your friends. And he gets pissed, grabs Caska's hands, and he says, she goes, you're a mad dog. He goes, you take that back. Take those words back. And then Griffith is like, that's enough, whatever. I'll explain it to him, Caska. And we're starting to see more of what's going on with the Hawk. They're no longer some mercenary group being hired by all different kinds of kingdoms. Apparently, they've been working with the Kingdom of Midland for a little bit now, for a decent amount of time. And so much so that I guess they were working for Midland 3 years ago. They just never said it was the Midland Kingdom or whatever. Because remember, like I mentioned in my last review, the guy said pretty soon we won't be able to look at them with content anymore. Well, apparently the Hawk is finally starting to make their mark on this kingdom because Griffith is being knighted in this chapter. Basically, Guts makes a comment like, I do care about my allies. I do think about them. And Griffith is like, don't worry about it. I know you do. You are different from back then. He goes, our fight back then, those are the kind of fights I like. They were fun. He goes, but that trait of yours, then he apologizes. Guts apologizes about the battle, and Griffith says, it's fine, Guts. Basically, that trait of yours is all part of my plan. This dude is still playing this game 3 years later. He wants to take hold of his own country. Now he's becoming a knight and a viscount in the Kingdom of Midland. This gives the Hawk a very, very good position in the kingdom. Even though the other ones aren't being knighted, they're not becoming viscounts like Griffith, they still will reap some of the benefits that Griffith gets. So we get the whole scene with Griffith being knighted, under the Holy Spirit and the God and all that. Kisses the blade. We have other people in the kingdom, like while watching, are saying, I can't believe the king is doing this. It is a fact that the Hawk are powerful. They have helped in the battlefield. However, he is a low-born. He is not nobility. To be knighting him is ridiculous. So we see there's people that do not agree with what the king is doing. He gets knighted, but Guts is nowhere to be found, and Caska's wondering where. And there's a point where Caska and Corcus kind of got into a little argument during the knighting ceremony. And one of the people were like, oh, bumpkins or whatever, like one of the nobility. totally can see there are parties in the kingdom that do not agree with this, like I said, and also still look at them with contempt, and they think they're lowborn, they're scum, you know, they're country bumpkins, whatever. And I see Corcus is still trying to kill Guts. Fuck that dude. Because after the little argument with Caska and Griffith, Caska and Guts, Caska leaves and Corcus is like, if you need our help, we'll kill him for you. And she just knocks him over or whatever. I'm like, yo, this dude's been a comrade for you guys for 3 years. He's been your comrade for 3 years, Corcus. Get the fuck off his dick. Get off his fucking back and just let him fucking do his thing. You know, I'm sure he even probably saved Corcus a few times in those last 3 years. I mean, we haven't seen it, but, I mean, come on, man. Even Caska doesn't want to kill Guts, but she's trying to kind of, like, form him into the perfect, you know, Band of the Hawk soldier. Trying to get him off of his ways of doing things on his own. At least she's trying to cope with him. Corcus still just wants to kill him. I'm like, what? So, you know, we see Guts is off training still. He has, like, rocks tied on it, his big-ass fucking sword. Sword, once again, bigger than him. Hitting the hundreds, you know, 99, 100. And he just sits down. And in that moment, Griffith kisses the sword, and he is officially a knight and a viscount of the Midland Kingdom. And that's the end of the chapter. And I believe this one was called Wind Sword, or Sword Wind. It was only one chapter. I'm pretty sure the next chapter is not called Wind Sword. It's called something like Neferusato Zod or something like that. So that's going to be an interesting chapter. But my thoughts on this is basically Griffith is finally doing what he claimed 3 years ago. He's making his way into a kingdom. He says he wants to take his own country. I don't think he wants to make his own country. He said he wants to take it. So what I feel Griffith is trying to do is he's trying to squirm his way into the nobility, into the ranks of the Midland Kingdom, and maybe he's going to try to take it for himself. Maybe that is his plan. If he's going to succeed or not succeed, that's to be seen. But I have a feeling this is all part of his plan, you know, to have the Band of the Hawks be part of the Midland army now. Maybe he's going to try to get a huger army because he has a lot of you know, members in his mercenary group. But maybe he's going to try to win the favor of some of these other actual soldiers in the Midland army, and then form them into the Hawk. You know, absorb them into the Hawk, and then maybe he's going to try to take over this kingdom. You know, because he'll have the military on his side at that point. He's obviously up to something. I mean, he's up to something. You know, he wants to find his place in the world. He wants to see what he's destined for. He wants to take his own country. He still has that Bayolet, which I really think that Bayolet's gonna play a part in all of this as well. And he's making strides. He's making moves, and he's playing chess basically with his people and against the Midland King. He's obviously going to try a coup. I really feel like that's his plan. But let me know your thoughts on this time skip in this chapter overall. Let me know your thoughts on my thoughts. Do you agree with anything I said? Do you disagree? Well, let's just talk about Berserk Chapter 17, guys, because that's the point of me making these videos. You join me in my journey on the Berserk manga. You read along if you have not read Berserk before, or you reread it as I read it, and we come back and we discuss this in the comment section below for each chapter. That is why I make YouTube videos for anime and manga. It's just great to interact with other passionate fans, and I'm really enjoying this series so far. I've said that for the last like 5 or 6 chapters, maybe even longer than that, and I'm really starting to enjoy Griffith a little more, seeing him make these moves and these strides and trying to get to where he wants to be. Even though I have a feeling what's going to end up happening is really fucked up, and I'm probably going to end up hating the character because I heard very bad things about this character, but I don't know why everybody hates him. So I can't wait to see that revelation of what's going to happen. But like I said, let me know your thoughts on the chapter, guys. If you feel I deserve it, hit that like button if you want to see more Berserk reviews. If you want to support me 100% and you want to support other YouTubers in the anime community or even out of the anime community, I highly, highly urge you to not use ad block when you watch your favorite YouTubers' videos, because that way you can 100% support them. And if you're a new viewer, hit that subscribe button, guys, for more Berserk chapter reviews, some Toriko chapter reviews, Hunter x Hunter episode reviews. I do a lot of different things on this channel, so subscribe if you want to see more. I don't think you'll regret it. This has been my review for Chapter 17 of Berserk, entitled Swordwind. I'll see you guys in the next Berserk review.